So I'm in London today on the third leg of my tour of the UK. I've been to Glasgow, I've been to Newcastle, and I've been to London. And I'm going to be checking out a number of different establishments to find out what the customer experience is really like and what our businesses need to do to improve that. I'm also going to be talking to customers to find out what actually matters to them when it comes to their experience. All of this is about really trying to establish what needs to happen with the high street in order to ensure that it's fit for purpose for the future for all of our consumers. Do you buy online and in store?
You know what, I prefer to go to the shops.
You prefer to go to the shops?
Yeah, I think it's a different experience.
I prefer buying in the shop, but it's easier to buy online.
Right.
I like to touch things.
Yeah.
Especially when, sorry, that doesn't sound appropriate, but like clothing, you
Yes.
like to touch the fabric,
Sure.
see if it fits right, and then especially like the trainers, I like to try them on because these kind of trainers that I buy, they're like the personal touch that are like more specialised for your feet.
You can see what you're buying.
Yeah.
And you can try them on. Yeah, and I just think it's also contact, human contact.
Yeah. Human contact, I like that.
Yeah.
And do you ever click and collect? Do you ever buy on?
I used to, but not really
Not
anymore.
okay.
Yeah.
And is there anything in store, when you're buying in store, is there anything that would stop you from buying in store?
Probably the customer service, because sometimes when you're going in store, there's not as many staff.
Right.
So I think they've reduced the staff capacity.
Yeah.
So you go into a shop and you ask for something, and then it takes ages for them to even
find it for you.
Yeah, for them to not even find it, to respond to you or
Right.
let you know. So you'd be standing there waiting around, and then they come and tell you, well, we haven't got anything. Why didn't anyone communicate that with me? I could have gone about and gone and looked somewhere else.
The majority now is more based on online shopping, and I think that's the trend now. That's where it's steering towards.
Excuse me. Do you have any kind of gift ideas? I know it's a strange question. I'm looking to buy a gift for my daughter.
How old is she?
23. You don't have like a gift section or anything like that. It's just basically you could buy anything.
Toys.
Yeah.
She's
Okay.
full of toys.
She's definitely too old for toys. And you don't sell online, do you?
No.
Planning to maybe?
Drink sets, we've got
Drink sets?
like that.
Uh-huh.
Cocktail makers.
Right.
We've got
Yeah, cocktail makers, that's a good idea, isn't it?
electric dispenser, but I
Yeah.
think that is fun. It's quite. I think it's worth money. £10 for 4 items.
Yeah, I think she'll enjoy that. And what's the returns policy?
28 days.
28 days. Right, okay, brilliant. All right, thank you. Thanks for your advice, thank you. Hey here, there you go. Wow. Look at all those tills. There must be 20 tills and there's one person actually taking money. Hi. Yes, please. Lovely. Thank you very much. Thanks. So I could bug you. Do you do any recycling in store? Do you have anywhere where I can bring stuff back or anything?
Return.
Not returns, but for example, you work in fast fashion, so if I buy stuff for my kids and they don't want them after 2 wears, can I bring them back here? Can you? No, nothing like that. No. Okay.
No, sorry about that.
All right, no problem. So I've just been into the Primark store in London, and anyone who thinks the high street is a thing of the past or is dying just needs to go and look at Primark. It's a great example of a retail experience, visual merchandising, product, it's just fantastic. But there are some things they can fix. Primark are in a world of fast fashion, and fast fashion is an issue when it comes to sustainability and the planet. I asked a number of colleagues in store whether there was any recycling proposition, could I bring any items back once my daughters had stopped wearing them, and they said, no, sorry, we don't do anything like that. So I think there's a missed opportunity there for Primark to actually take some ownership of that as an issue. The other experience I had, which wasn't so great, was at the till. There are 20 tills, which is fantastic, but there was only 2 people serving, and there was about 10 or 12 people in front of me, and it took me essentially 10 minutes to buy what I was buying and check out. A lot of customers would have abandoned their baskets and left. That means cash on the table. Opportunity for Primark to address that. It's hard to argue with Primark's business model. They're so successful and yet they don't sell online, but I think that's a missed opportunity, and I think that ultimately you have to be where customers want you to be. So I think that's something they're going to have to address. Aside from that, the in-store experience was fantastic, and based on my experience there, I give Primark 8 out of 10.
what are you doing though? What's your purpose? You're creating showing off bathrooms. Right, got you. That's very cool.
Clary stage, really relaxing, but also quite sweet. So sort of prefers the sweeter scents. Good one for that.
Alright, cool. Do you recycle products?
We recycle the pots out.
The pots, right. Right, okay. So what I do afterwards, I just bring them back?
Yeah, so the black pots, you can actually bring back 5 of them and we give you a free face mask.
Right. So you're encouraged to bring them back. That's
Exactly.
great. Yeah.
Or even the containers for plastic ones.
Yeah.
They're not involved in this scheme. But you can bring everything back and we recycle it in the back of house.
Right, okay. Cool. Lovely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. You have a website, don't you?
Yes, we do, where you can order everything and stuff because we have a lot of exclusives here for the flagship.
Right.
But you can get them all online as well.
What exclusive products?
Yeah, because in local Lushes you might not be able to get some stuff.
And do you do click and collect and all that sort of stuff? Or?
We don't do click and collect, but we do like postage and packaging. I think it's $4.95, something like that.
Yeah.
It's not like too expensive.
Right. And what's the delivery? How long do you order online? Do you know?
A couple of days.
Couple of days. Right.
Yeah. Obviously, I think it's like normal. Yeah, and they all come with it's called EcoFlow, and so it's packed like really well, so nothing gets damaged.
So
in the
sustainable
yes,
as well.
Yeah, recyclable, sustainable.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thanks. Hi there.
How are you today?
Good, thank you. Thanks. What's the returns policy? If that's...
Oh, you can return it if you didn't like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. But as in, like, obviously some of it is here. Some women last time came and she was like, I don't like this, and we were like, well, you used the whole thing.
Got you. Okay. Yeah. Got you.
I mean, no, you can return it.
Okay. Brilliant. Thank you.
Is it for yourself?
It is.
Do you like honey?
I normally eat it rather than put it on my body, but you know, I think I'll try that for the first time.
Same. It's so nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very new and it's my favourite.
Alright, good.
Would you like the receipt?
Yes, please. Do you have a loyalty program or anything like that? Or loyalty?
No,
you don't do a loyalty, no?
Sorry.
Oh, right. I think lots of customers would be very loyal to you if you did. Or even more loyal.
Say actually.
Yeah.
We should. I'll tell my...
You should tell the head office.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So I've just been into the Lush store on Oxford Street, London, and I have to say, what a great customer experience. The staff are fantastic, very welcoming, very warm, very friendly, and very knowledgeable about the product. And I'd say that was pretty much the case across the store and all of the colleagues. Visual merchandising was very strong. It's a really good in-store experience. Free gift wrap. When I asked about returns, they said as long as you bring something back in the bottle. So they really took the pressure off and had confidence in the product that I was buying. So all round, really good. What were the misses? A lack of multi-channel messaging and no loyalty program, which given the strength of the brand and the product, I thought was a bit surprising. But overall, I would give Lush 9 out of 10. Pretty good experience all round.
Hi there. Do you sell online? You have a website? You do?
Is there something particular you were looking for?
No, just having a mosey. Presumably you've got a bigger range on the website, have you? Or?
Actually in store.
Oh really?
Yeah, this is like the only men's store for Vivienne Westwood in the entire world.
Oh really?
So
Right.
most of the other stores and obviously online it's men's and ladies.
Right.
So we all kind of, every store buys sort of individually for our client base.
Right.
But the men's store here will do more of a broader selection of the whole collection that you
Right,
see.
okay.
But then you might find, if there's something you don't find in stores, you can always contact online and vice versa.
Vice versa.
You can always do mail orders as well, if there's anything in particular.
Cool.
I'll give you a card if you want.
Yeah, please, that'd be great. Thank
You
you.
can contact us if there's
Sure.
anything you see online or
Love it.
maybe another colour variation or
Thank
so
you.
on.
Thank you.
There we go.
Lovely. Thank you very much.
Have a good
Cheers.
day.
Thanks a lot. What's your name? Thanks. Martin.
Nice to meet you.
Thank
Have a
you.
great day.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
So I've just been in the Vivienne Westwood store in London, and I thought I'd just go and find out what it feels like to be in a luxury brand environment. The staff were very welcoming when I came in. However, there were 4 of them on the shop floor and no one approached me and asked me if I needed any help, which I think was a bit disappointing. On the way out, they did offer me a card with their details, but it didn't have their personal details on there. So I'm not sure what use the card is then in terms of getting back in touch with the store. So I asked the person that gave me the card what his name was. He asked me what my name was, and that's how we left it. I did find out that it's the only menswear store in the world. That was really interesting. And I asked if there were more products available online, and surprisingly he said no, and he said there was actually more available in the store, which seems a bit weird because ultimately online has no walls and no square footage, and you can have as many styles on there as you want. The final thing to call out was that there was no multi-channel messaging, so I didn't actually know prior to asking what was available online whether they actually even sold online in the first place. Overall, I'd give my brief experience in Vivienne Westwood's menswear store in London 5 out of 10. Quite a bit of room for improvement, I think. My advice to Primark is to make sure you have enough people behind the tills, or you leverage technology in a way that you enable customers to check out and get out of the store quicker. I've been in there a few times recently. There are 20 tills in the Oxford Street store, and on each occasion I've been in, there have been 2 people serving behind the tills. So when you've got a big queue, there's no doubt some customers are going to abandon their baskets. Despite the fact that Primark does many things well, has a great range, good pricing, really nice branding, great tone of voice, there are still some other opportunities, I think, for the business. Given the issue around fast fashion and sustainability, I'm slightly surprised that there's no recycling proposition within Primark, and I think that would be one way for them to demonstrate to customers that they're addressing that particular issue, which is top of mind for consumers right now. So I'm on the Primark website now, and again, Primark are a fantastically successful retailer, but not doing any commerce. Really interesting. So let me have a look at the website, bearing in mind that they're not actually transacting at the moment. So I can buy gift cards. There's a link to buy gift cards on the homepage of the website. And then the main categories are features, products, Primania, stores, and our ethics. Now that's interesting. Let's look at the ethics page. Now this is really interesting. And this talks about how we keep our prices low and our standards high. And this, so if I can actually scroll down to it. So there's a video on here, and this is about products for Primark are made with respect for people and for the planet. So this is all about sustainability and how they treat their suppliers and how their suppliers treat the staff that work for them, which is massively important. So there's very strong messaging on here about that and on the planet. So clearly a fast fashion retailer that's taking this seriously, which is great to see. However, when I was in the store, I didn't get a sense of this at all, even to the point when I was talking to colleagues in the store about recycling and is there any opportunity for me to bring in styles that my kids maybe don't wear anymore and have those products recycled or repurposed. You know, they told me there was nothing available. So I think there's great messaging on the website behind this, but I'm not sure this is being translated in store. So that feels like a missed opportunity as well for the brand. If I click on products, what I find is a website that's been designed almost as if they were transacting, but they're not. So they start to highlight different product categories that I can then select. I can go into jeans, I can see all the different jeans products. I can click on them as if I were going into a product detail page. I can add them to my favorites. I've got all sorts of social media links, so I can tweet about it. I can tell my friends on Facebook to buy this particular pair of brown belted skinny jeans, but the one thing I can't do is I can't buy them. And I know the reason why Primark have not gone into e-commerce in the past. They've always talked about the fact that they can't make the model work commercially. I don't really buy into that now because I think the price points would be such that customers would buy enough units to drive the average order value to a level where it would make it more than beneficial, more than commercial enough for Primark to go into e-commerce. And at the end of the day, that's the proposition that customers want. But then again, it's hard to argue with a business that's doing as well as they are when they don't do e-commerce at the moment. Given that they're not transacting in an e-commerce sense, I'd actually give the Primark website 7 out of 10. My advice to Lush is to build on the fact that you already enable consumers to bring back and recycle the pots that they get their products in. I think you could make that a little bit more obvious throughout the store and really call out the recycling and sustainability proposition behind it. The staff are fantastic, and honestly, in all the experiences I've had across retail in the UK, particularly during my visits to Newcastle, Glasgow and London, I don't think I've come across more enthusiastic colleagues in store. Despite Lush having a really strong in-store proposition and a very effective e-commerce proposition, I think there's a lack of multi-channel messaging within the store. And the other thing I'd like to call out by way of advice to the business is about loyalty. You've got a fantastic brand, a great reputation and great product, and of course, as I've already said, great staff. why not offer a loyalty program to your customers? I think that would help you to get even more out of that relationship in the years to come. So now I'm going to look at Lush and Lush's website. And as I look at the homepage, there are three main navigation choices. I can click on products, shops, or Lush Labs. Interestingly, they've got a hashtag for Lush Labs, and they've got a hashtag for We Are the Bathers on the main content placeholder on the homepage. And given I'm pretty sure I've read recently that Lush are going to basically withdraw from social media, I found that quite interesting because that suggests that they're still taking part in social media in some shape or form. Then as I scroll down the homepage, they've got various products and products being promoted. What I found really interesting is, if I get to the bottom of the website, there's some really important things down there that tell you a lot about the business. 100% vegetarian products, ethical buying, fighting animal testing, freshest cosmetics online, handmade products, and naked packaging. Not 100% sure what naked packaging means, but very strong sense of purpose, brand purpose, and social responsibility. And given everything that we're going through at the moment and will be going through for many years to come with regards to the planet and sustainability, those are the sorts of messages that I think should be more prominent and should be a more obvious part of the overall brand proposition. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on products, and then it gives me a drop down of all the different categories and subcategories. If I go into soaps, I'm going to go into the soap category page, and then there is a whole bunch of featured products. Then there's all soaps. And I think that one of the challenges when I'm looking at this, and I guess this is why the page is displayed the way that it is the products all have fairly unique product names, which makes it quite hard for them as a business maybe to categorize products. But it's not what you would normally expect. You'd normally be able to filter down into subcategories of products. Anyway, I'm going to pick a product, which is Lush Hippie, and I'm going to go to the product page to see what happens there. So bear with me. So there's actually some video content there playing in the background. It tells me the ratings of the product, so I can see that it's been given 4 stars by 23 different customers. I'm going to add to bag in a second. I see all the ingredients if I scroll down the page. I don't see anything about the delivery proposition. So at the moment, I don't know if I buy this soap when I'm going to receive it, but I'm going to add it to bag nonetheless. And when I get to the shopping bag, I can see the cost of the order. I can see other products that I can buy, but I still don't see any service levels at all around delivery. So I'm still none the wiser when I'm going to have this order delivered, nor can I see how much it's going to cost me to have it delivered, whether it's free, whether I have to spend over an average order value. I don't know what the proposition is if I have to return my order, if it's not fit for purpose. I don't see any messaging around gifting, which, having been into the store and seen a very clear proposition at the till point around gifting, is a bit surprising. So there's a bit of low-hanging fruit there for Lush to get after, and I'm pretty confident that they probably have something like at least 35 to 40% of customers abandoning their shopping basket because of these issues. So my advice to Lush would be, tell customers at the shopping bag and before what the delivery proposition is, how much it costs, the service levels, and you've got a really good gifting proposition. So call it out and tell gift buyers that, the products are going to be gift wrapped if that's what they want. I would give the Lush website, based on what I've just seen, a score of 6 out of 10. I think there's quite a lot of room to improve conversion on this particular site. My advice to Vivienne Westwood is, when somebody comes into a store, make sure you give them the option of asking whether they need some help in the first place. Not all customers do want that. Some are self-service, like myself. But when I went into the store in London, there were 4 colleagues in the store, and although they were all very friendly when I came into the store, nobody actually asked me if I wanted any help. When I asked about the product proposition and whether there was more choice available online, I was told no, and that this was the only gents store in the world. I found it a bit surprising that there wouldn't be more product available, gents products specifically, online than there was in a relatively small store. Despite being the only gents store globally, I do think there's more the brand could do to really reinforce what the store stands for, what the brand stands for, and in particular what the men's proposition is all about. So now I'm going to take a look at Vivienne Westwood's website. And the minute I go on to the homepage of the site, once I've clicked in the web address, the first thing I see is a subscribe to our newsletter message with a picture of Vivienne on the left-hand side. And it tells me I can get exclusive early access to sales, new arrivals, trends and promotion. I've got to enter my email. I've got to tell them whether I'm a man or a woman. Now, for some people, this is great because it is a loyalty driver to some extent. It tells you you're going to get something back for you giving your data to Vivienne Westwood. But for other people, it's a barrier because you might only be making a one-off purchase and you might not want to give away all your information. So I would generally err on the side of not doing that at that particular stage in the customer journey. And I would offer customers the opportunity to sign up for that type of incentive later on. Just looking at the website again, it's not a standard layout on the home page. The navigation's down the left-hand side and there's no messaging whatsoever about the delivery proposition, about the returns policy or anything. In my experience, if you don't offer free returns online, particularly in apparel and footwear, generally speaking, it's a very big barrier to conversion because that's what customers expect. So if I then click on men and I go into shoes, it's a fairly standard layout. I'm going to click on Elko Sneakers Black. I can do a quick shop, but I'm just going to go into the product detail page first of all. There's a number of images of the products, some quite good photography. There's quite good photography. There's delivery information as I scroll down the page, so I can click on that to see what the return. See, now I can see the returns proposition and I can see the shipping proposition and so on. The cross-sell options are alternative shoes. I'm really a fan of, rather than showing me alternative shoes, because these are the shoes I want to buy, why not show me other products that might go with those shoes? That makes more sense to me. I'm going to have a look at the search function on Vivienne Westwood's site. So if I click on the search box, now that's interesting. I've clicked on the spyglass, which most people know as the search function, and there is no search box. Oh no, it's on the left-hand side. Well, that is extremely non-intuitive or unintuitive. The search box normally is on the right-hand side of the website. So let me just key in trousers. And let's see what comes up. So there's a bunch of trousers. Let's try men's trousers. So there's half a dozen styles that have come up. There's something strange going on with the bottom half of the website. The screen's now kind of split into two, and I'm not really sure how to progress from this stage. I think there are some usability issues with the website. Click on a pair of trousers, again takes me to the product detail page. The website's got a really unusual feel to it from a usability point of view. It's a little bit Web 1.0 in terms of the information architecture. Again, the categories are normally on the top of the website. The search box is normally on the right-hand side of the site. So I don't know whether they've done that trying to be a bit different because Vivienne Westwood is quite a quirky brand. But my advice would always be to follow much more of the convention because at the end of the day, Vivienne Westwood customers spend more time on other people's websites than they do on her website. And I think therefore it's important that you follow the general kind of convention of where things sit on a website because otherwise you just surprise customers and they don't really know what to do next. And that quirkiness becomes a barrier. Based on my experience now, I give Vivienne Westwood's website 4 out of 10. There's quite a lot of work to do there, I think, to bring that up to speed. So that's a wrap, folks. I'm standing here in London having visited a number of different retailers. I've been to Glasgow, I've been to Newcastle, I've been to London, I've been to retailers, I've been to restaurants, I've been to car dealers, all with the purpose of checking out the customer experience. I've also been talking to the great British consumer to find out what they like and what they don't like about the online and the offline shopping experience. And really the purpose of this has been to try and work out what we do to fix our high streets, to make them more relevant and fit for purpose for the future. To summarise, the key things I think our consumer-facing businesses need to do in order to become more customer-centric are leveraging technology to improve the experience within their environment, having a loyalty programme, giving customers a reason to come back, training staff, making sure that all the time they're up to date with product knowledge and that they're able to engage and sell effectively to customers. And also to make sure that there's effective multi-channel messaging so that customers know what the experience is and that they can buy and engage with the brand through all the different channels and touch points. The high street is definitely not dead, nor is it dying, but it does have to evolve. And hopefully what I've done in the last few days in Glasgow, in Newcastle and London is highlight some of the opportunities that our consumer-facing businesses have to get after delivering a better customer experience, as well as the high street, and thinking about what the high street needs to do and what it needs to become and how it needs to evolve to become increasingly relevant, not only now but in the future.